They're like dressing adolescents as if they're about to go on stage for Shake It Up. Why are they dressing high schoolers like this? Hey everyone, it's Sunny. I'm literally filming this right after I filmed like the first counterparts of this video, which is everything that I love in books. So go watch that if you haven't already. Literally all I did was change my sweater. It's literally the same sweater but like in a different flavor. I don't do cheerleading, by the way. I thrifted this. So I didn't finish my popcorn from 30 seconds ago when I filmed that last video, so it's just the same popcorn. But yeah, this is just gonna be another notes dump video. I'm going through my doc talking about everything that I hate in books. So before we get started, I do want to thank 𝐬𝐻 for collaborating with me on this video. So in case you don't know, 𝐬𝐻 is the fastest growing self-care and mindfulness app on the market right now. They use the latest AI technology to provide an incomparably personalized and a very warm, inviting experience for all of its users. It's super beginner friendly, and it's like an all-in-one well-being app. Mood check-ins, which is literally my favorite. I literally did it this morning. You can check what mood you're feeling right now, what things you've been doing recently. It's just a cute little check-in with yourself. The best part is then the app will then recommend tools that the app offers to you based on whatever mood you're experiencing right now. And I know my fellow students out there, anyone who's on a grind, well-being is literally the most important thing, but the easiest thing to like put on the back burner. 𝐬𝐻 app offers the biggest library of ever expanding self-care content. Things like sleep stories to help you sleep better, meditations to help manage your stress and anxiety, music for relaxation, and even like quick little yoga sessions. So the 𝐬𝐻 app is accessible to everyone, whether you're on iOS or Android. With affordable pricing, it is a freemium product, so some of the features of the app are free. There's also 7-day premium trial and a 30-day money-back guarantee. And 𝐬𝐻 app has been kind enough to give you guys a special offer. So go to 𝐬𝐻app.com/sunny for a huge 60% discount from the yearly 𝐬𝐻 app subscription using code SUNNY. All the details will be in the description as well and pinned as a comment. So yeah, thank you again to 𝐬𝐻 app for partnering with me on this video. Without further ado, let's get back into it. Okay, first thing that I have on my list here. I feel like people really like the first thing that I'm gonna say, but I really don't like it, but hear me out, okay? Oh, whenever I think of something or I come across something in the books that I read, then I'm like, oh, I need to add it to this list. I just take out my phone and I like blindly just type it down and then I just put it away. So I have many typos. Stupid things people say when the love interest gets glammed up. This only works when they're the milky, wholesome couple. Sometimes I hate being the head of like these main characters. I don't like the things that I hear in their inner dialogue. I get like secondhand embarrassment for them. You guys know this. This is like the same reason why I hate like the forced proximity one bed trope thing, because I hate like listening to all of like the things that people think. Like I just start cringing a little bit and I get like secondhand embarrassment for them. Sometimes they say like kind of the stupidest things. I really don't mean to be mean about this. I actually don't mean to be mean. I understand that people get flustered, like sometimes you don't have control over the things that you think or the things that you say. I'm like, ooh. Okay, I feel like if it's internal, then it's like not as bad. But if they like say things out loud, I don't know, you know what I mean, right? Like sometimes they say like the cringiest things that I'm like, ooh, why'd you have to say that? I said this only works if they're the milky, wholesome couple. Specifically, the only exception to this is like Enrique and Zofia from the 𝐤𝐻𝐻𝐻 trilogy. There was one time when Zofia got glammed up and then like Enrique went and was like in awe, you know? That's the only exception because that's cute then. I don't get as embarrassed. I'm like, oh, that's so like endearing. But I feel like the milky, wholesome couple is like not as common. Yeah. Next, when there is a letter, in the letter it's written dialogue. This actually bothers me because a lot of books use like letters as like a writing device to tell the story, and I love that. I think that it's so fun. You know, sometimes like there'll be chapters or like excerpts where it's just like someone writing a letter. But I don't like it when someone is writing a letter but it's pretty much written as if it's not a letter, literally just written as if it's just like a narrative, people having whole conversations with like quotation marks and dialogue. No one writes that in their letters. You know what I mean? Like I've never written a letter in my entire life where I like recreated a scene or like retold something that happened by like making it into a dialogue between two characters. I would always be like, oh, this person said this, and like paraphrase things and stuff, you know what I mean? I feel like no one actually goes and writes dialogue when they're writing letters, so I don't like it when authors do that in like the letter devices that they're using because it's like unrealistic. I'm like, oh, what was the point of this? If you're gonna write a letter, make it actually a letter. If you're gonna write dialogue, make it not a letter. That just doesn't happen. I don't like it. It brings me out of it. Now I'm trying to read and follow the story, but all I can think about is like, why is this person writing dialogue? I'm like, no one does that. Hold up. You guys hear that? All those squawks from those birds? Okay, next. When siblings call each other brother and sister to make clear their relationship. Only works with the Salvatores, but even that is wafer thin. This also bothers me so much. I feel like a lot of the things that bother me about books are things that are genuinely like not realistic to real life. Because when I read books, like the point of me reading books is to pretend that it's real life. Because I want to feel like this could happen in real life. Okay, I know that in other languages, like I know in Korean and stuff, it's like the linguistic norm to have titles of brother and sister. Like that's how you actually address them. Like I would call my sisters 언니 because 언니 means older sister. In English, it's not the cultural norm to call your older sister. So in books, whenever people introduce like relationships, you will like see them call each other brother or call each other sister, and you know that it's not because they just do that normally. It's because the author is trying to let us know, they're trying to beat us over the head with the fact that these characters are siblings. I'm like, okay, thank you for making their relationship clear, but couldn't you do it in literally any other form? Because no one does that. I'm like reading and I'm like, oh, this is weird. I feel like I would prefer just someone being like, oh, those are the blank brothers. The only exception that I was like, okay, I guess because it's iconic, it's okay. Damon and Stefan Salvatore from the Vampire Diaries. In the ending scene to season 1, episode 1, Damon Salvatore knocks on the door, Stefan opens it, and he goes, hello, brother. That is the only exception. Okay, the next thing I don't like. Character A is like, I know that you blank. Character B is like, there's no way you could have possibly known that. And then character A is like, now I do. Okay, basically what I'm saying here is that I don't like it when a character finds out like a plot important secret about another character, being like, oh, you da, 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 da. The other character is like, how did you know that? And then the other character is like, well, now I do. And that's how they find out. It's a cheap shot. Story, that's a cheap shot. Next, when one character fibs and it just gets stretched out and deepens, and we're barreling toward an argument that could have been so easily prevented if they were just honest in the moment. Now it's even worse that you kept a secret for that long, because that's me. Oh, that's not where I expected that to go. I think it makes me extra stressed out because I do this, because now you're like stressed out reading the entire book because you're like, oh no, girl, like it's just like snowballing into more and more, and you're like, no. It's such prolonged pain like when you're reading it. It's like giving a Cinderella story, because now you know that there's gonna be some argument after the revelation. You're like, this could have been avoided. Next, characters accidentally falling onto people's laps. I actually hate this so freaking much. And you know what the origin story for this is? Season 1, episode 1 of Girl Meets World. First of all, can I just say that the dialogue in that whole show is like kind of stunted, and I can't believe that no one is talking about this. But you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. When I watched that, I was like, oh, well, that's an interesting directorial choice. I don't like people accidentally falling onto other people's laps. Like, I don't find it cute. I actually get kind of stressed because there's so many ways that could go wrong. It just makes me stressed out. I don't like it. Okay, next. In his giant masculine palm, my own looks tiny. Like, okay, just relax, we get it. This is representative of just like a larger thing of like authors feeling the need to like really make sure that we know the masculinity or femininity of a specific character like at all times, and it's just like shoved in our faces. This bothers me because first of all, gender is a construct, and second of all, like we're not like stupid, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know if authors think that like it would make us dislike characters if they're not like fully conforming to socially constructed gender norms. I guess I can't speak for everyone in the entire world, but personally it really doesn't, because as Jonathan Van Ness says, everyone has a beautiful, gorgeous sun energy and moon energy, sun being more masculine energy, moon being more feminine energy. Everyone has a beautiful combination of those things, and they can all exist in the same space in one person. So it just bothers me. It's just so like putting things in boxes, it just bothers me. I'm like, ooh, that doesn't feel right. I don't like it being perpetuated in the books that I read. Next thing that I hate in books, surprise, incest. You guys already know this. Why are we putting incest scares in books? Why are we doing that? Can someone explain that to me? Who was the first person who was like, I have a wildly brilliant idea, it's gonna appeal to everyone? Why are we doing that? Who was in the room when that happened? Because I have something to say to them. Switching dates back and forth in chapters because I don't read chapter titles. Like, this is kind of a me problem, I think. But you know, like books, especially historical fiction books, because I have no sense of time whatsoever, especially if it's gonna be like 1952 and then like 1978. I'm so sorry. I was born in 2001. It's really hard for me to differentiate timelines that are like that far back. But if there's like chapters and the timeline is pretty significant in the chapter, but the timeline is put in like right at the beginning, you know what I mean? Like as a chapter header, like it's not even part of the paragraph, and we're floating in like the top half of the page. I don't read it. I don't read them, so I get lost in the timeline. I don't even try to read them. Okay, but also on a similar note, I don't like it when there's 10 billion timelines and you're like going in between, but they're like all like within the same decade. Going between like 1978 to like 1973 to like 1979 to like 1974. I'm like, what? What? How am I supposed to remember? Okay, next, books set in high school and expecting me to believe the stakes. Okay, this actually bothers me now. I feel like this was okay for me when I was in middle school and I didn't go to high school yet. But now that I've graduated high school, I literally can't read books that are set in high school anymore. Because what? Nothing happens in high school. Literally nothing is happening in high school that can be that high stakes that I'm actually invested in it. I'm so sorry. I think it's probably just like a me thing, because like, do you know like fluffy YA contemporaries where like the biggest thing happening is like two people running for president or something, and that's like the main focal point of the book. It's supposed to be super high stakes. I just can't buy into it. High school is a fever dream. Everything that happened in high school and middle school doesn't count. So it's just hard for me to buy into it, and I can't get into it. So yeah, I'm done with high school books. Like high school books are like about high school. You know what I mean? Like about prom, like about that kind of stuff. I'm like, I don't really care about that. Friend group banter, that's just the adult author trying to catfish us with cringy teenager talk. Like, that actually goes hand in hand with the next thing, which is weird outdated emoji use / acronyms in text messages. These are probably the thing that is the biggest barrier to me reading YA contemporary books. I can read YA not contemporary and I can read adult contemporary. I can't read YA contemporary books. I won't say I can't read it, but it's like very hard for me to like love that genre, especially with the fluffy YA contemporaries. And it's always because of the same thing. It's always because it's an adult author trying to catfish us. Why are these authors trying to catfish us? Oh my gosh. And it's also especially apparent when they like describe how the kids are like dressing. They're like dressing adolescents as if they're about to go on stage for Shake It Up. Zendaya really did that. Zendaya really said shake it up to Euphoria. Why are they dressing high schoolers like this? Why are they doing that? Oh, I just hate reading like the dialogue. Because like, especially if there's like a friend group, like the dialogue between like the friends. I'm like, who talks like this? Especially if people are text messaging each other. I see a YA contemporary book and I'm like, maybe I'll pick it up. And then I flip through and I see text messages. That's a tough one. I feel bad because I don't want to fault like the authors, but I'm faulting them. Can you do like a little bit more research? Know that we don't say things like TTYL. We don't say like see you tonight. You know what I mean? Oh, I'm so sorry. I hate reading it. It just makes the characters feel like not characters. They literally feel like a cartoon. Yeah, those are like all the things that I hate in books that I have on my list so far. Of course, I'm gonna keep adding to this list and I'll keep updating. Yeah, let me know if you agree or disagree with any of the things that I said in this video. But I think that's gonna be all for me. Thank you so much for watching. And once again, thank you so much to 𝐬𝐻 app for partnering with me on this video. Don't forget to click all the links in my description below to get your 60% off discount on a premium 1-year subscription. Go to 𝐬𝐻app.com/sunny and use my code sunny. Be sure to subscribe down below if you haven't already and click the notification bell to be notified every single time that I upload. Be sure to follow me on Instagram at sunnykimchannel. You can follow me on Goodreads and Pinterest. All my links are in the description below and I'll see you all soon. Goodbye.